Hello and welcome back to my Dallas Cowboys blog. This is weighing the weigh-ins. The Senior Bowl weigh-ins are often the earliest bead on calculable numbers heading into the NFL draft. There were 256 players drafted in 2014. 84 players from the Senior Bowl were drafted in 2014. This year, 111 players were at the Senior Bowl, including 2 long snappers. My interest is mostly in defensive ends and tackles. According to the NFL Network's Mayock, this is a deep draft for pass rushers. It's one of the best drafts I've seen recently for edge rushers. Some of the guys are 4.3s, some are 3.4s, some can do both. Some of the juniors that are here are really gifted and will be at the top end. I think this is one of the deepest outside linebacker defensive end groups we've seen in a while. Cowboy fans hope he's right. Dallas will need depth at the top and throughout the draft to land the marquee defenders required to gain a championship. The Senior Bowl weigh-ins only include size data. Making sense out of solely the size numbers isn't the most profitable exercise, but there are some things to glean. Defensive end outside linebacker Von Miller was a top pick when he was drafted. His outstanding speed set him apart, but he was also noted for his long arms at 33.5 inches, keeping pass blockers at bay. There were 19 players at this game with longer arms, including 7 defensive linemen or outside linebackers. Front four players should be the target for Dallas, so we'll start with those defensive players whose arms are longer than Miller's. Lyndon Trail, Norfolk State. Trail is raw with athletic upside. It's said he could improve with coaching. He transferred away from Florida to Norfolk State. Was the coaching not up to his standards at Florida? Be wary of a player who likes being a big fish in a small pond. He's got the long arms, but is just about too tall to actually play defensive line at 6'6". Zach Hodges, Harvard. Ivy League player, he did not stand out in practices. He's not used to the competition and got overpowered sometimes. Other times he proved slippery and got around blockers. His effort is commendable, but it is better to block shed than to have never been blocked at all. He hasn't shown the explosive moves to uproot blockers' hands. He will not be able to keep up the weasel antics in the NFL, and so must improve. He has some physical traits that are desirable, and he will likely get a chance as a practice squad player. Trey Flowers, Arkansas. Earned freshman All-SEC honors while starting 3 games on an 11-2 team. Suffered through several bad Arkansas seasons, then helped his team to a 7-6 record in a bowl game against the University of Texas, where they held the offense of UT to 59 total yards. At 6'2", he has notably longer arms than the men of similar height. He's tied with a 6'3" and a 6'5" player. In some circles, he's already seen as a late first-round player. He considers himself a strong player who knowingly uses his long arms to toss blockers. But he claims he can also come at blockers with speed. He played well all week, so his combine speed numbers may hold up and secure him a late first-round pick. Geno Grissom, Oklahoma. Coming off a sprained medial collateral ligament in his right knee suffered mid-November, he didn't impress much at the Senior Bowl. His size and weight are adequate, but right now his speed is either lacking or compromised. We'll need a strong combine to pull him to the middle of the draft. Joey Moo, Houston. Moo was said to play well all week and used his size and strength to his advantage. He lacks speed and quickness. He's drawing interest as a late round 5 tech and run stuffer. He could be someone's Orca-like nose tackle with some experience. That's an Orca on land, not water. Again, he's not fast. Orca also means killer. See the image to the right. And it's a picture of Joey knocking the helmet off an Auburn player in pass blocking drills. If he would make a good run-stuffing 3-4 nose, he would also make a 4-3-1 tech. Carl Davis. According to his high school hometown rag, the Detroit News, the Hawkeye stood out as the second-best 4-3 inside pass rusher behind Washington's Danny Shelton. He benefited from the change of scenery, as here at the Senior Bowl he was asked to use his quickness in a way he never was at Iowa. Friday night, NOLA.com wrote a character-assassinating hit piece about him. It starts, Iowa defensive tackle Carl Davis was voted Senior Bowl's top practice squad player on Thursday night by a panel of NFL scouts. He's on the rise and looks instantly desirable to the Cowboys. He's well fit to be a disruptive 1-tech, which is unusual. He's got the Iowa palate, all technique and no physique, but he's actually delivering a workable athlete. If you accept Tyrone Crawford as a 3-tech and DeMarcus Lawrence as a weak side defensive end, Davis makes a desirable fit at the next leftmost position, 1-tech. Preston Smith. Preston Smith was saved for last because his measurables leaped out at me. He backed them up with a solid week of practice and is now considered a late first rounder. On Wednesday, he was said to be tossed in one-on-ones versus LSU offensive lineman La'el Collins. On Tuesday, he put wonder kid La'el Collins on his back. The battles between these two may have been the matchup of the week. Smith is the perfect size to play almost any defensive line spot, but he'd hold up especially well as a strong side defensive end. He was 6th in the SEC in sacks. He has a great track record in addition to size and projects to play the strong side defensive end. If Dallas somehow left this draft with these last two defenders, Davis and Smith, their starting defensive line would be set and full of youth, just waiting either Lawrence or another who can be that elite sack artist. La'el Collins, the LSU offensive lineman, was outstanding. Dallas may still draft offensive line high, even after drafting 3 first-round offensive linemen in 4 years. Apparently, Collins can push the moon out of orbit. Top 4-3 defensive ends. These players project as the top 4-3 defensive ends according to the media consensus exiting the Senior Bowl. Nebraska's Randy Gregory at 6'6", 245. Missouri's Shane Ray, 6'3", 245. Kentucky's Alvin Dupree, 6'4", 267. Did you know Nebraska, Missouri, and Kentucky are all spelt with the same number of letters, and that spelt does not trip my spell checker? If you're anything like me, you love to read the Senior Bowl weigh-in data, especially because it's right after the season. If they played a bowl game, then they are likely still near their playing weight. In addition, the Senior Bowl often has the only accurate arm-length data if NFL.com doesn't capture it at the Combine. If you're like me, you'll also hate the difficult-to-read raw integer format the recent measurable data has been spewed at as. So for you, I have formatted the weigh-in data with feet and inches notations available in a Google Doc spreadsheet you can interact with here. Thank you. I'm Nick Weld on Twitter and Austonian Aggie in the comments, and I'll talk to you later.